Welcome to Imagine Peace, the podcast that invites you on a transformative journey toward a world filled with harmony and understanding. Together, let's ignite the flame of peace within ourselves and radiate it outward so we can have a future where unity prevails. This is Imagine Peace, where dreams become reality. Join us as we explore the power of compassion, the beauty of diversity, and the potential for positive change. Welcome, everybody. I'm MarBeth Dunn. I'm here with my beautiful cohort, Kumari Mullins, and our special guest today on our Imagine Peace podcast is Barry Auchettl. Now, this podcast is a part of 10 Million for World Peace. We do daily meditations into the unified field of consciousness, guided meditations for world peace. And Barry Auchettl is also known as the Blockbuster. He's a life visionary from Australia who helps people to see the world with new eyes by improving their physical eyesight and their insight as to what's possible for themselves and others. He's also the creator of Conversations, an inspirational game that encourages more meaningful conversations and connections. And he's the producer and star of the movie Vision 2020, From Eyesight to Insight. He is a sought-after international speaker and best-selling author and mentor, helping people unlock their full potential and achieve their goals. He loves Australia rules football, music, and his 6 grandchildren, for whom his work and his vision is dedicated to creating a better world for them to grow up in. Barry, we are so happy to have you here. Barry is a dear friend, and it's just really a joy to have him here. And I really want to ask you about the work that you're doing and how it connects to world peace.
Thank you so much, MarBeth. Look, it's great to be here, and I believe world peace is possible, and I also believe we are moving into it. And I'll explain that because the work that I do is really about raising people's vibration and frequency. And just really different for those people who don't know the difference. The vibration is our inner guidance system, our level of consciousness. And David Hawkins had a system from 0 to 1,000. And so a lot of the work that I do is about raising people's vibration to levels beyond what they thought was possible. You know, it's actually now possible to go above that 1,000. You know, the world is changing. Frequency, on the other hand, is about our ability to manifest stuff in life, you know, the track life and things like that. So for me, when I was able to separate the two and then focus on my internal guidance system and then how I manifest out in the world, my external system, then both of them took off incredibly over the last 10 years. And I believe that the inner peace that we actually have is really about getting ourselves right first with our vibration, of raising that to levels so that we become at peace. That's how we create world peace.
We're on that train with you.
So how do you think that the work that you're doing is impacting the world?
Oh, definitely. I do muscle testing on most things. And when we get to a vibration over 1,000, and we can even go further than that, I have a group of people who meet every 2 weeks whose vibration is actually over 1,000. Now, we've muscle tested the impact that they have on the world, and it comes up to be 10 million people, like both directly and indirectly, that we get to those levels. Now, my goal is to have 800 people at those levels. Then we actually have a positive impact on the entire world and lift the entire vibration. That's my goal, is to lift the vibration of the planet. The interesting thing is, for years we've been talking on the David Hawkins scale, this magical number of 200 for everyone on the planet. And we've actually muscle tested for the last 7,000 years of where we were and looking at all the insights of what happened over the last 7,000 years, of how times we increase and times we don't. Now, the two interesting numbers, in year 2000, we reached 196. Like we got really close. And last year we got to 199. So we're sort of creeping forward. And I knew we were just about to tip over. And then on January the 1st, I was feeling a bit wonky and I was thinking maybe I just had too much to drink the night before or something. But what really happened when we went and tested it is we actually crossed that 200 point that people have been waiting for. And the 200 point is about the world having courage now to stand up for what's right, for having courage about allowing ourselves to be who we're meant to be. And I'm just so excited and I have so much hope for the future because of what happened on January the 1st.
That is so cool. I felt something similar. I didn't have the same parameters to measure it. I didn't think
Yes.
of that. I do know about David Hawkins, and I have done that in the past. That is so cool how you've kept up with that. And it's also this new year is in the Chinese system, the wood dragon. And the first word to represent the symbolism of dragon energy is courage. And I felt a major shift this new year as well. So thank you for explaining some of that.
Yeah, and we've been talking to a lot of people who've had exactly what you're talking about. Something's a bit strange, etc. And most people that you'd be talking to, probably get their vibration up to 4, even 500, which is really good. I'm not discounting that, for people. Imagine what it'd be like if you got your vibration over 1,000. And that's the work that I help people to do. And it makes them able to respond to life more rather than reacting. And that to me is peace. That when we can respond to life rather than reacting and what's going on here, it's like, okay, I didn't like this, but let's see what we do about it. It has that different flavor to it.
One of my teachers said that we need to develop a pause button before that reaction kicks in,
Yes.
and that spaciousness to respond differently. That's what you're speaking of. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
So then you think you have hope that peace is possible then.
Yeah, and I want to explain hope. Hope is not just wishful thinking for me. Hope is like an inner knowing. And so there's this inner knowing that we are making this transformation. Now, how quick that's going to kick in and actually show itself, I don't know. Like that's, the universe has its own timing and I tend to want to speed things up quicker than what that is. And at the same time, it is happening. And I want people who look around, particularly at politics and what's, some of the things that's happening in the world, and we go, oh my goodness, what's happening? I actually see that there's going to be major changes in that in the course of this year. And a lot of people who may be in power at the moment politically, I don't believe will be there by the end of this year. Like, I think the change is going to come that quickly.
We just to bear that out, we just came across, MarBeth and Terry and I came across some statistics in the US of violence going way down this year.
Yeah.
So the news is not reporting that, but I know the shift is happening as well.
Yeah, and when this work came out about 3 or 4 months ago, I actually predicted that we'll have a female, because I'm now living in America, even though I'm from Australia. As I I'm calling America home. But I predict that in America we'll have a female president by the end of next year, the end of this year. And that's a pretty big call given what's going on. But that's the shift that we can actually have. And I think having that female energy coming in can only help lead towards having this peace that you guys are talking about.
So Barry, you know that our project for world peace, and that really is our focus, is about meditation and creating world peace through meditation. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, look, I do. A couple of things come up when people hear the word meditation. Like people think about sitting facing a wall for hours with legs crossed and eyes closed or eyes looking at a blank wall, and it doesn't sound that much fun for a lot of people, And I believe meditation is anything that we actually stay focused on. If I stay focused on cleaning my teeth while I'm cleaning my teeth, by definition, that is actually a meditation. And so meditation doesn't have to be difficult for people. And for a lot of people, what I do is, and I don't know, look, sometimes I'll go through a situation, I might meditate for half an hour to get to a space for the last 2 minutes. That's this exquisite space. And many of you might know what that looks like, where you just have that stillness. Now, what I actually teach people is, why go through the first 28 minutes? Why not just do a 2-minute meditation in that space? And so the people who can't meditate, I encourage them to do a 2-minute meditation. And just be in that space, even if it's 1 minute. I had one lady, we got her to do 1 minute, and a week later she said, I'm up to 3 now, and slowly expands that. So I'm a big believer of finding what works for you. I was actually working with a Zen master once, and I was muscle testing him, and it came up that he wasn't meditating properly. And I was thinking, I can't say this to a Zen master, like, who am I? 40 years of teaching meditation, let alone his practices. And we talk about courage. I had the courage, and I said, look, this is what came up, like, don't shoot the messenger. And he said, Barry, you're right. He said, I've been doing the same thing for 40 years and I've got stale. And so we just tweaked the way that he meditated just a little bit, and he went back into his deep meditation practices.
Isn't that beautiful? Now, I agree with you about the short meditation, and that's why we keep ours to 7 minutes. I think it's doable for most people.
Yes.
No?
And I think that's a great practice. 7 minutes we can do. And every now and then I still want to do my 20-minute, 1 hour meditations and things like that. So I'm not saying don't do those. But in our lives, I'd rather do 2 or 3 shorter ones. And my own personal practice is to try as much as possible to make my entire day a meditative practice. So I'm with you two. I'm totally present with you two.
Yeah, I feel that. And that's my practice lately as well. My meditation master used to say, just give me 5 minutes. We'd go into longer, deeper meditations as a group. But she said, every day is your daily practice. Just give me 5 minutes. And I'm finding I don't even sit anymore. I just like you, I'm washing the dishes and I'm totally present. I'm out in the garden and I'm totally connected. So I'm finding less and less am I doing more formal meditation. And I think that's an evolution as well, that we can bring that meditative practice into our lives. That is the goal, right?
Totally. And that's the purpose of it, is so that during our life, we're not having these sort of meditative states, and then we go back into life and deal with all the rubbish, and now we go and meditate again, like it's
right.
Too much of a disjoint for me. So I'm really lucky that the people I work with are really high vibrational people, and I get to play in this space almost all the time in my life.
Which is beautiful. So how do you clear blocks to peace, Barry? I know you have a very special method.
Thank you. I have a technique which I call light body alignment, and it looks like I click my fingers, but what we're doing is I've recognized that the stresses that we have, whether they be blocks to peace or blocks to money or blocks to how we're feeling, actually operate in our etheric field. And so what I'm actually doing is clearing the etheric field to put it back into alignment. So I'm not fixing anything, I'm just putting it the way that it should be for you. I don't know what that looks like. Like, your body knows what that is. And when we do that, I have found these blocks that under traditional kinesiology that I used to do, it would take an hour, I can do in less than a minute. And that's pretty incredible, but we've had years of processes of that's happening. In actual fact, we're going to gift everyone here a program I have called Clear Blocks to Feeling Good About Yourself. Because part of meditating is we want to feel good about ourselves, which is be the purpose of it. So people will be able to see what I do during that 1 hour, in which you get to clear, I think, something like 10 major blocks around feeling good about yourself.
That's very nice, Barry. Thank you.
Very important.
Yeah, it's very important. I was wondering if you had a favorite practice that you like to do for becoming more peaceful?
Look, my favorite practice is, many of you may know, I actually started, the vision school actually started known as iPower. It was actually an eyesight improvement business. And so my favorite practice is still combining meditation with an eyesight practice that can actually improve your eyesight.
Mm.
And I'll just show you really quickly. What I do is I just rub my hands, I cup them like I've got some eggs, and I place them, my palms of my hands over my closed eyes. And I just meditate in this position. And what this is doing is not only stilling my mind, but actually stilling my eyes. And then when I've finished, I drop my hands, I touch the corners of my eyes like that, drop my eyes, drop my hands, and then open my eyes again. And what that does is create a stillness within me and increases the clarity of my physical eyesight. So I get a 2-for-1 factor coming in.
I love it. I could feel the reset as you did that.
Yeah.
It's like rewiring something. It's cool.
Yeah. And I've done that in corporations who are like, oh, I'm not too sure what this guy's on about. And they'll do the palming. And then when they're finished, they go, wow, there's something to this, like there's a.
Oh, there is. It's very, very powerful. So how can people reach you, Barry?
The easiest way to reach me is at barry@thevisionschool.org.
Thank you so much. It's really been lovely having you here on 10 Million for World Peace is Imagine Peace. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Do you have any last words that you would like, wisdom you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just want people to recognize that peace is possible, to believe that. That's where it starts. We've got to start by believing it, then we can take action, and then we get to see it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Barry.